talk to us about Benzema then, Tim. Do you think that was a deserved winner?
I think so. Outstanding. I mean, the little run of games he had in the Champions League and the goals what he was scoring when they were up against it in some of them games. Looks like they were going to go out of the competition. All of a sudden, put a ball into the box. He finds that little bit of space, and them headed goals he scored at the bridge were incredible. You know, I think he deserves it. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see some new winners. Obviously, you know, there's going to be no more Messi and no more Ronaldo. We've enjoyed it while it lasts, but I think it's time for the new breed. Mbappe possibly, certainly Haaland. I see him winning it because of his output, which is incredible. And I think Karim Benzema absolutely deserves the award this year.
And Tim, it's for a very unselfish player as well, because ultimately he can play 9, 9.5 or 10. He can be all of them, a bit like Kane does that for Spurs. That his achievements somehow have been recognised, because it's all been about Lionel Messi for his brilliance, likewise Ronaldo. But the team player has won for the first time for a long time.
Absolutely, I think it's all about the output, Cass, isn't it? And I mean, he dragged them to the final, and they eventually wins it. Like with respect to my mother, she don't watch too much football, but she would know that Benzema wasn't a very. I mean, if you look at Lionel Messi and Ronaldo, she's on the edge of the seat watching them play because she don't have to know about football. They excite. Whereas players like Benzema and Haaland, for a certain extent, it's just about their output. It's about the end product and putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's exactly what they do. So, I mean, it's time for the new breed. He's not going to win it again. I'll say that he won't win that again, and I think it's now the door's open for perhaps Phil Foden or Grealish or Harry Kane. I mean, he's getting towards the end now, but someone needs to step up. I think. Move aside Ronaldo and Messi and open it up for someone else to win.
De Bruyne?
How's he? I mean,
I know.
For me, he's one of the best players I've ever seen. You know?
Tim, is he going to be one of those players that doesn't win it because he's not? I mean, he scores goals.
He's
but
Brazil
he
82. That's what he is.
Do you know what I mean? Unless they go on and win the Champions League, the Premier League in the same year, is it always going to go to sort of more of the glory boys than a player like De Bruyne?
Yeah, because I think his national team as well, they're falling off a little bit coming towards the end. I suppose this year would be the last chance they would have to win anything with a breed of players what they've had. I think they've missed the boat on the international scene. Belgium have been fantastic, but Kevin De Bruyne's level of performances internationally and for his club side is magnificent. I mean, his attitude and his output is incredible. I mean, some of the passes you just take it for granted when it's Kevin De Bruyne, but any other player in the league cannot hit them type of passes.
That's what I mean. It's almost like his standard is so consistently high that you do almost take him for granted. Okay, going against what I said a minute ago, if City had won the Champions League, do you think he would have won? Because he came third last night.
I think so.
It does play a big part winning the Champions League.
Yeah.
Huge part. I think you have to. I mean, if you analysed really closely and looked at both players, you say that Kevin De Bruyne outperformed him. I said, but the big moments are when you're scoring goals and dragging your team to the next round, and I think Benzema deserves it on that.
But the answer's already there, because the importance of the Champions League, because Courtois was second. So he had made some big saves, and especially in the Champions League as well. Yeah. As good as Benzema was for getting goals, Courtois kept saving them as well.
Yeah, and they hardly ever get recognised goalies today.
What about Man City winning Club of the Year? So rather than team, it was Club of the Year. Any thoughts on that?
Well, for me, they're the best football team in the world. I mean, I really do believe that. I think they've got the best coach we've ever seen in the Premier League. Obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson is the best manager we've ever seen, but I think what Pep does, people will argue that he has the tools to work with, but you still got to work with them. You still got to keep them happy. You still need to rotate, and you still need to play. They win and they entertain at the same time. So, for me, if they get any awards, it's hard to begrudge them it.
I want your top 5. We might have put you on the spot. I hope you've been told about this, but we want your top 5 strikers in the world right now, if that's possible.
Right now?
Right now,
well, 1, 2, 3 is probably a bit easier to start with.
Well, I think... in order, or just one?
In order, yeah. Number 1's got to be easier, hasn't it?
Well, number 1 at the moment has to be Erling. I think Haaland has to take that accolade. I mean, he's just been incredible since he's come to the Premier League. I don't think we ever questioned that he would fit in because of his physicality. and his pace. But did we really believe he was as good as this? I don't think we did, and it's great to see him, and it's great to have him in the Premier League. I think Harry Kane has to be in the top 3, and I would put him as number 2 at the moment. I mean, even he's so prolific, Harry. You know, when you got limited chances, and just give him a couple of chances, and he will score one. You know, that his consistency over a number of seasons has been incredible, and if he keeps himself fit, which we hope he does for the World Cup, he could possibly be the man who lifts the trophy for us.
Where's Mbappe going in your list?
Yeah, I don't see enough of him, and to be honest, I find him very exciting to watch when he's on his day, but I find him quite frustrating. I have to be honest.
He's had troubles at PSG this year, and he wants to play on the left, and obviously, I don't know if you read the reports about him. Neymar was meant to leave the club, and he was meant to play on the left, which is a strange thing for a player to demand at where he actually plays, because he's not shone as a centre forward. He's found it difficult, but when he's on the left, he does make a difference. Yeah, and it is that blistering pace.
He's like Henry, isn't he? You know, drifts out on the left-hand side. A lot of boys these days want to play out there with the backside to the touchline and drift inside and threaten the goal. I mean, he's got incredible pace and skill and quick feet and ability to finish. But he wouldn't be. He'll be up there. He'll certainly be up in top 5. But for me, the jury's still out for me. And people will say you must be mad, but they're only I look quite intensely into him, and he just frustrates me. Certainly, if I was to manage him, he would frustrate me.
He got booed last night when he arrived at the ceremony for the Ballon d'Or. He got booed by the fans, I guess, whoever was outside. I don't think it was the journalists. That would have been a bit weird, wouldn't it? I just thought it was quite interesting. I suppose that a lot of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes and the demands that we read and things like that might have made him a little bit unpopular.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.